Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, has never been one for drama, but her actions and words over the years tell a very clear story about Meghan. From her reaction to the Oprah interview to her conversations with Meghan Markle, today we're breaking down exactly what Sophie said and did and what it all really means. When Meghan entered the royal family through marriage to Harry, the Queen noted that adjusting to royal life would be very difficult for Meghan, and it would be hard for her to figure everything out about the royal family on her own. So the Queen recommended Sophie as the perfect guide for Meghan. Sophie wasn't selected because she is the best. She was selected because she had the same transitioning process as Meghan had. Sophie came into the royal family as an outsider, just like Meghan. She had to learn the royal ropes from scratch. She made some early mistakes, like the 2001 tabloid sting, but recovered gracefully. Despite all that, she became one of the most respected and beloved royals. Within a short time, she transitioned very quickly into the royal family and even started living as if she had been royalty since birth. This selection carried royal approval and importance. When this approval was given by the Queen, Sophie was excited and willing to help Meghan transition successfully into royal life. She reportedly went to Meghan's place and spent hours talking with her. During that meeting, Sophie answered many questions, shared insider knowledge about royal duties, and genuinely tried to guide her through what life inside the monarchy would be like. Sophie even offered her personal number and told Meghan to call her anytime if she ever needed advice, support, or simply someone who understood the pressures of royal life. She left the door completely open for future communication, believing she was helping someone who truly wanted to settle into the royal family. But according to reports, Sophie never heard from Meghan again. Once Sophie walked out of that meeting, there was no follow-up call, no return visit, no message to check in or continue the mentorship. Meghan did not arrange another meeting, and there was no effort made to maintain contact or build a relationship with the Duchess of Edinburgh. What Sophie believed was the beginning of a supportive royal bond quietly became the last time the two women communicated. Sophie, being the gracious person she is, didn't give up. She reached out multiple times, offering her support, but Meghan did not show any interest. And when asked about why she didn't lean on anyone for support, Meghan's response was, "I have Harry, that's all I need," as if Harry was going to teach her how to curtsy. He was grinning on her side while she made fun of curtsying the Queen. So, what was Sophie's reaction to this? Well, let's just say she eventually stopped losing sleep over it. After Harry and Meghan walked away from royal duties, a Sunday Times source revealed that Sophie was relieved that they had gone away. She said that she was relieved that she no longer had to curtsy to Meghan. Now, think about that for a second. This is Sophie we're talking about, the most composed, diplomatic, unbothered woman in that entire palace. If even she reached that point, it tells you everything you need to know about what it was really like dealing with Meghan behind closed doors.
What this title means for Sophie, beautiful Sophie, is that she no longer has to curtsy to Meghan Markle, okay? In the line of succession, she no longer has to curtsy to Meghan Markle, okay? That is a booyah moment.
All those ignored calls and rejected offers of help didn't just disappear into thin air. They built up quietly over time, and the tension eventually became impossible to hide. By the time Commonwealth Day 2020 arrived, which was Meghan's last royal engagement, something had clearly shifted between the two women. Sophie, who had always been warm and endlessly patient, was visibly done extending olive branches to Meghan. The body language between them that day spoke louder than any words ever could. During the Commonwealth event, Sophie appeared unimpressed and emotionally distant. You could see it in her posture, her straight, stiff neck posture, and her looking away from Meghan. There was minimal emotional warmth between them. Then came the moment that changed everything, which was the eye contact moment. Sophie eventually turned and locked eyes with Meghan, and when she did, she maintained eye contact without breaking it. Meghan knew what she had done, and she quickly looked down and broke the gaze. Her smile faded almost immediately. This showed real tension between the two. This behavior showed that there was no empathy left between these two women, and no willingness to connect now or in the future.
The Fab Four reunion is being described today as a PR disaster after Meghan and Harry were given the cold shoulder at Westminster Abbey.
There was an existing interpersonal conflict. Even exiting the Abbey was another show of the conflict that existed between them. Meghan crossed through chairs to catch up with William and Catherine, instead of leaving with Sophie and Edward. This skipping of chairs is seen as going against the expected royal protocol, and the Sussexes were scheduled to exit after the Cambridges, so it was not about queuing position.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, as we've heard this afternoon, this is the last time they will appear in public before stepping back as senior members of the...
The tension between them became so high that after the explosive Oprah Winfrey interview, Sophie and Prince Edward were asked about it. Instead of responding directly, they turned the answer into savage shade. They responded, "Oprah who? What interview?"
Speaking with The Telegraph recently, the couple joked, "Oprah who?" and "What interview?" in response to the fallout from the March TV special.
Sophie didn't stop there. In a Telegraph interview, Sophie added another sharp remark. "If you're not into chat shows, there's no reason why you should know who she is."
When the two were asked about the interview heard around the world, Prince Edward simply said, "Oprah who?" Sophie asked with a laugh, "What interview?" Ouch. But at the same time, Sophie spoke up to defend the Archbishop of Canterbury, who famously asked Oprah what she did for a living at Harry and Meghan's wedding. Sophie said, quote, if you're not into chat shows, there's no reason why you should know who she is. Certainly not in this country anyway.
Do you guys remember when Meghan said that she never Googled Harry and didn't know anything about the royals? Yep, this was a payback from Sophie and Edward. Sophie was so sharp-mouthed that in just one statement, she unmistakably dismissed Oprah Winfrey and the interview drama. She even went further during a 2020 interview and dropped the biggest bomb of all. She reflected on joining the royal family and remembered that she spent 5 years adjusting to royal life. She says she didn't know how it would pan out. This was seen as a dig at Meghan, who entered the royal family and left after just 2 years. Following Meghan's exit from royalty, Sophie publicly stayed diplomatic and said, "I just hope they will be happy, and we all try to help any new member of the family." Help was offered to Meghan, though Meghan stated that no one helped her, but she didn't accept the help that was given to her. Even though Sophie tried her best to reach out multiple times to offer guidance, advice, and emotional support, each attempt reportedly failed as it was declined by Meghan. Sophie became frustrated and didn't want anything to do with her. Even when the Queen appointed her to mentor Meghan Markle, Sophie wanted to help, but Meghan rejected it.
In case anyone needs a refresher on Harry and Meghan's infamous interview with Oprah that aired earlier this year, the couple claimed that the royal family did not support Meghan's request for mental health support.
But reports say that even when it was provided, she didn't want it, and it wasn't welcomed by Meghan. So the guidance and assistance were removed, and she crashed out of the royal family within a short time.
Meghan Markle is in no way looking for your love or approval. According to The Telegraph's Bryony Gordon, the royal says she is not seeking people's affection and, quote, doesn't want people to love her. She just wants them to be able to hear her.
She's even looking to distance herself from royal protocol and formalities when on official royal outings.
Meghan once said she doesn't need people to love her. She just wants them to hear her. Well, the public has been very clear. They hear her, they see her, and that is exactly the problem. Even the public was happy for Sophie because Harry and Meghan's exit essentially cleared the way for things to fall into their rightful place. Sophie and Edward became Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, a title that carries far more history and prestige than Sussex.
So apparently, Sophie is married to Prince Edward. Well, she was upgraded from the Countess of Wessex to the Duchess of Edinburgh, She got a little bit of a promotion. This is a big deal. But let me tell you why it's important. So both Queen Elizabeth and Queen Camilla previously held this title. But what this title means for Sophie, beautiful Sophie, is that she no longer has to curtsy to Meghan Markle.
And there you have it. Sophie never screamed or gave interviews to air her frustrations. She didn't need to. Sophie is the kind of woman who offers you her hand, and when you refuse it, she simply moves on and outclasses you in silence. So what do you think? Was Sophie being subtle, or was she saying everything without saying a single word? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.